Thank you. So, my name is Ilana Haviv, and I'm the co-chair of Human Rights Educators USA, alongside with Christy oh my gosh, alongside with Christy Rudiles Palmer. I have trouble with that all the time. I'm so sorry. And we're so happy to have you here with us today. And I want to take a moment just to talk about what's happening with us as educators right now. And like we find ourselves in this time of uncertainty, not knowing fully how our teaching may evolve or be forced to evolve in 2025. I know many of us have books that we want and need to share with our students that are in question right now. And these are what we need so our students can explore history, language, and discern right from wrong. Will we receive support from our communities, be it our school, be it our town, be it the state? We might not know that at the moment. However, I do want to say what we can ensure you is that we are part of a strong community of educators across the country, and we will continue to support one another and, as always, share our wisdom on human rights. So it means so much to us to have everybody here and to be connecting today in this space. And I need to take a moment to thank those who made it possible for us to continue our programs and to strengthen our network, beginning with the Puffin Foundation, who have supported us throughout the years to make our network and programs possible, our fiscal sponsor, the Center for Transformative Action, our individual donors, and our Training in Action series co-sponsors. Your generosity is essential in our efforts, and we thank you. And now I'm going to pass the mic over to Elizabeth Schwab, who's organized this day, and she will let you know what is upcoming.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. Happy Human Rights Day. I'm Liz. I'm also on the steering committee and executive committee at HRE USA. So today we will honor our HRE USA Human Rights Awardees for all of their wonderful work, give you some updates about HRE USA as well, and of course, celebrate human rights. So we're super excited that you all are here joining us. And with that, we'll get it started with the awards. So I will hand it over to Alana.
Hi again. Okay, we are going to begin with the Ed O'Brien Awards. So to give you some background, these awards were established in Ed O'Brien's memory. He was a pioneer in human rights education and a valued member with us here at Human Rights Educators USA. So these two awards are given annually. One recognizes an individual who has made an outstanding contribution to human rights education in the United States, and the other honors an organization, institution, or program that has made a similarly outstanding contribution to human rights education in the US. And I'm so honored to pass the mic on to our 2023 awardee, Dr. Alex Redcorn.
Hey, my name is Alex Redcorn. I'm a citizen of the Osage Nation. My family's from the Oaxaca District, which is near Pawhuska, Oklahoma. For those that might be familiar with the Southern Plains, and I had the distinct honor and privilege of receiving the O'Brien Award last year, and so I really appreciate the invite back here. And I appreciate the time and effort that these folks have shown, and I'm really excited with this crew. As I was looking through the nominees and thinking about who the introductions and who what these people have done is really exciting to see. And so I'll start by introducing, and I'm going to read a little bit because I don't want to mess anything up. All right, but Dr. Rick Halperin, and did I say your name correctly? I just want to make sure. Rick Halperin. So Rick Halperin's commitment to human rights as an educator, scholar, and activist covers many decades and a wide range of human rights issues, including genocide and the death penalty. And he has held several leadership positions. And I was going through this list and I was like, what else hasn't he done? So Dr. Halperin has a 50-year affiliation with Amnesty International, and he has served as chair of its board of directors 3 times. He has also served on boards with the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty and the Center for Survivors of Torture and the International Rescue Committee and the Texas Coalition of the Abolition of the Death Penalty. And on top of that, he has done UN human rights delegation work that inspected Irish prison conditions, as well as delegations monitoring human rights in El Salvador and Palestinian refugee camps in Gaza. And this is where I really start to love these things. So also, he has established an undergraduate program in human rights at SMU. And so for me and my work in Indigenous education, I'm very passionate about building programs to duplicate and amplify the skill sets needed to do this work for future generations. And that, to me, that's one of the most impactful things that people can do. But he also has held seminars for the Texas high school students and teachers, founding the Human Rights Dallas Digital Mapping Project, which I started thumbing around with that. And as a former social studies teacher, I thought that that was just pretty dang keen. And he's also done more work around, let's see where I lost it. So I clicked the wrong thing. And so co-founded Human Rights Dallas with the goal of ensuring the protection of human rights of all persons in Dallas. And Dr. Halperin also leads groups of students, faculty, and community members on human rights and educational journeys to places such as Argentina, Cambodia, Rwanda, South Africa, El Salvador, Bosnia, and numerous Holocaust sites across Europe. So I'm kind of curious if there's a country that Dr. Halperin has not been to. I'm assuming there's probably a shorter list that he hasn't been to than what he has been to. But I want to say congratulations to Dr. Halperin and everybody, and appreciate all the work that you've done.
Well, thank you so very much, Alex, and I look forward to chatting with you offline about the work that you do. I am deeply humbled and honored to receive this award. I want to thank everybody at HRE and friends within the organization that I've known for a long time, even though y'all are still very young. I want to thank Ed O'Brien for his pioneering work in this, and the privilege to know and to have worked with Ed at the beginning of the onset of basically human rights education in this country. I've been very fortunate. So I just want to make a couple of quick comments here, if I may. I guess the person I first have to really thank is my mom, who raised both my sister and myself. It wasn't rocket science. It was just to be a good person and to respect everybody. We didn't know about human rights in 1950, but we knew to treat people right in a part of the country where that was pretty difficult and where hate speech and politically incorrect speech was the norm. Maybe just a very, very quick overview as to how this program even started. Obviously, when I was in school in the university at George Washington in 1967 through 71, there were no human rights classes. Nobody could take any classes like that. But I had a transformative year in 1968-69. I got to study in Paris. It was pretty tumultuous in 68 in Paris, as it was in many places in the world. It was my first trip, first time in Europe, and I got to travel extensively from one end of Europe to the other and visiting numerous Holocaust sites, and especially those that were in Central and Eastern Europe, East Germany, Poland, and other places. And I knew even then that I wanted to take people to them because, of course, human rights came from the onslaught of World War II. I learned about amnesty. I heard about amnesty in 1969. In January, I was an eyewitness to a terrible incident of a Czech medical student who set himself on fire in protest to the Russian occupation of his country. So pretty much my life has been very linear. I knew that this was the work that I wanted to do. And when I started teaching at SMU in 1985, I proposed this human rights course in 1989, and the chair of my history department let me teach it. And that's pretty much all I've taught ever since. so that really our human rights program, whatever the legacies are of the Holocaust, our program is one of those legacies, because I started taking people to Poland every December. We're going again December 30th of this year. One of my students was a graduate student who came from a very prominent family. I didn't know that at the time, and she had a profound and transformative experience in the camps in Poland. And when we came back in January of 2005, in February, she and her sister met with me, and shockingly to me, they wanted to give a monetary gift to SMU to create a human rights program, and asked me if I'd be the director of it. And I told them honestly, I waited my whole life to hear a question like that, and I was going to do it. And so our program came into existence because of this generous gift from a graduate student who was transformed in Poland. And this program, which I'd like to just say the remaining part of my time on the program, it's one of only 9 such programs in the country. And it shouldn't be. With 5,000 colleges and universities in this country, this pedagogy ought to be at every school in the country from Key West to Honolulu. Any high school student should be able to go to any school in this country and study this. But at the moment, we only have 9. And my goal is to certainly work with students and educators to get this disseminated more widely. Our students have unique opportunities in that we do travel. I think we travel more than any of the other programs, virtually to all the countries that Alex mentioned. I'm not allowed to go to certain countries because some of them are just so dangerous. I can't go, for example, to Mexico, and we're not allowed, of course, to go back to Israel at the moment and other places. But we do travel to sites around the world and sites in this country. We've taken students to death row facilities, to Native American sites on the Great Plains and Rocky Mountains, to Japanese internment camps. There's no shortage of horrors that our own country has. And all of our students have to do a minimum of 20 hours of community service in Dallas to get them out of the classroom and to interact with people that are much less fortunate than themselves. And I'll say this maybe as a final comment or two. I'm very fortunate in that SMU is a private university. And it's amazing that I'm even saying this in 2024. If these courses that I teach were at a public university, I wouldn't be teaching anymore. There's no such thing anymore as diversity, inclusion, and equity. No public university in Texas is allowed to have offices incorporating that. There are no classes allowed dealing with women and gender studies, ethnic studies, minority rights programs. Those have all been canceled. So our program is even more unique in Texas than it already was. For whatever greatness the University of Texas has in its own right, it doesn't have this pedagogy anymore. It's really a telling comment on where we are in this country. And I'll stop with this. For those of you who are students, you know as well as I do that you're not going to be a student forever. And whatever you're going to do with your life, it's going to incorporate in your work, in your private life, in your work life. It's going to incorporate human rights because it's the only thing that runs through everybody 24/7. So I hope that if you are in high school, you'll look at any of the 9 universities that specifically have human rights programs. And if you're at a university, you'll work with faculty that teach related courses to get this pedagogy into your curriculum. You are going to be the leaders of this world, this country, and your best job, your real job is to lead this country into betterment of social justice and human rights. There's no such thing as a lesser person. And for those of you who are students who are interested in this, you are the future. And I am blessed to work with your peers here at SMU. And again, thanks so much for this recognition. It's a tribute to all of you and all of us, all of our peers that do this work. But again, I'm honored and humbled. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Rick. Now I'll pass it over to Andrew.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Liz. Would you mind bringing up our Academy for Human Rights slides? Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Human Rights Day. My name is Abby Cordero. I'm the president of the board of directors for the Academy for Human Rights, otherwise lovingly known as the Academy or AHR. And on behalf of everyone at the Academy, we're so thrilled to accept the 2024 Edwin O'Brien Human Rights Education Award. So our deepest thanks goes out to Nancy Flowers, Mrs. O'Brien, and the entire HRE Educators USA organization for making this moment possible, as well as all of our nominators. We're especially grateful to Mr. John Heffernan for his mentorship, friendship, and love for a better world that have all led to this moment being possible. So AHR was founded 17 years ago by several educators in Buffalo, New York. And the Academy was designed to provide meaningful human rights education to high school students and teachers looking to make a difference in the world. Since that time, the program has influenced thousands of students and educators on what it means to live a contributory life that advances the cause of a more just, humane, and democratic society. I know this personally because I was once a student of the program as well as an intern, and the Academy has impacted my life trajectory tremendously. Thanks to the Academy's programs, I went on to study international relations and economics in my undergraduate degree and have dedicated my career since to education and nonprofit management, now based in Washington, D.C., managing a national nonprofit. I'm here today with my colleagues Tasha Pratcher Brown and Drew Biter. Sorry, I believe someone's unmuted. If you wouldn't mind muting, I think there's an echo. Again, I'm here with my colleagues, Tasha Pratcher Brown and Drew Biter, and we're thrilled to represent the Academy's family of staff, volunteers, board members, and supporters, as well as our amazing partners at Erie One BOCES who make all of the Academy's in-person events possible. It's our privilege to share a little bit more about the Academy's mission, all to celebrate the power of human rights education in our world today. So would you please move to the next slide, and I'll pass it over to Tasha.
So sorry about that, and good evening. Hello, my name is Tasha Pratcher Brown. I proudly serve as the Vice President for the Academy's board. It's my privilege to share with you details about the Academy's human rights education programming for students that we are so excited about. The Academy's signature event is a Summer Youth Human Rights Symposium, which is a 3-day program that empowers high school students with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to be agents of change. And during this time, participants in the symposium get a chance to meet and learn from internationally known human rights experts and take part in hands-on activities and field trips and learn the skills they need to make an impact on the community, on the nation, and in the world. Next slide, please. The way the symposium works is that each year, our staff works to create a theme which captures the human rights events of our times, from women's rights to responding to the racial massacre on May the 14th here in Buffalo, or of understanding the human rights situation of Israeli and the Palestinian people. Our goal of the symposium is to provide the knowledge about our world that our students need to take action. These sessions are complemented by sessions which teach the skills that are so crucial to making change happen, such as lobbying elected officials, public speaking, or how to best use social media. The impact of these symposiums have been transformative. We've been training over 1,000 young change makers over the past 17 years, one of whom which is my daughter, Tamaya. And I'm especially grateful
This is one of the women on the board now.
Because the experience lit a fire in her that
Oh, Tasha, I think you got muted there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. The impact of the symposiums have been transformative. training over 1,000 young change makers in the past 17 years, one of whom is my daughter, Tamaya. That experience has lit a fire in her that continues to shed light on her personal journey. We are especially grateful to the amazing coordinator of the symposium, Katie Kirker, for all her fantastic work that she has done making these events possible. And the next slide, please, and on to Drew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Biter. I'm a co-founder of the Academy and proud to serve as its current executive director. On behalf of our longtime staff who have invested hundreds of hours over the past 2 decades, thank you for the privilege of receiving this award and for being here today. While Tasha just talked about the Academy's programming for students, I'd like to share more about our work with teachers. For the past 7 years, the Academy has established both online and in-person training for educators on how to teach about the most pressing issues of our day. Due to the great work of our conference planner, Dr. Tim Redmond, and that of Jessica Carnes of Erie One BOCES, these events have impacted the practices of thousands of area educators and via Zoom, many more around our country and world. Our most recent event last October 24th featured legendary free speech activist Mary Beth Tinker, who informed and inspired over 75 local teachers on the power of student voice and agency. Next slide, please. Other teacher training sessions have featured experts on a variety of human rights topics, including teaching LGBTQ+, our country's first interdisciplinary conference about climate change, or being inspired by conversations with world human rights leaders, such as Shabana Bashiz Rasik, who is the leader of SOLA, a girls' school in Afghanistan that had to flee the country in 2021 to the country of Rwanda. Other topics have included teaching about Ukraine, how to have difficult conversations in the classroom, or responding to tyranny, both here at home or abroad. Next slide, please. Everyone, what's especially gratifying about training a teacher is its multiplier effect. Seeing that one American secondary educator usually teaches around 125 students a year, when the Academy trains one teacher on any of the issues that I just mentioned, it impacts their students as well. When you do the math, the human lives that are impacted are enormous. The 75 teachers that the Academy just trained last October influenced 7,000 people, or the size of the stadium that you see on the screen. In short, what a society puts into a teacher is what it'll get out of its future. Given this, we're inspired by the knowledge that these conferences matter and change the world. In 2 to 3 years, our plan is to start a worldwide teacher fellowship training program that will empower, train, and fund educators with the knowledge of how to stage similar events, having an impact that will outlive us all. Our last slide, please.
Thanks so much, Drew and Tasha, and to our entire Academy family who've made this great work possible, including all of our past and present board members, staff, supporters, and volunteers. We're especially grateful to educators like Edward O'Brien, Dr. Reed Taylor, John Heffernan, Alita Black, Norm Kennard, Lee Cutler, Carl Wilkins, and David Crane, who all blazed the trail before us, and for our thoughtful supporters from California to Brooklyn, from Connecticut to Erie County, who see the beauty of a future that is different from the past. We are a small but potent nonprofit who is intent on changing the world. Given that, we are so thankful to have a larger stage to do that because of receiving this prestigious O'Brien Award. So thank you again, Nancy, and to the entire HRE USA organization. It is great to be working together, making the world a better place, one teacher and one student at a time.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Dr. Redcorn, you wanted to jump in quick. I know you sent Christy a note.
Sorry, Liz, were you inviting me to go ahead? Did I understand that correctly?
Oh, no, sorry. Dr. Redcorn, he had sent a note to Chrissy, but it's okay. We can also keep going. I'm not sure I see him on the...
I think he wanted just to echo his congratulations to the Academy and you presented your story so well, and we thank you very much, and congratulations to both of the O'Brien Award recipients.
Yeah, yes, thank you to Dr. Redcore and Rick, Andrew, Abigail, and Tasha for the wonderful presentation. Congratulations again, you're doing amazing work. And next, I'd like to introduce Polly Madden. So Polly is our HRE USA student intern from Columbia U. And today she'll be introducing our Youth in Action for Human Rights Awardees. Thank you, Polly, for your assistance with the Youth Awards and also the selection committee. And also shout out to Nancy Flowers, who's also helping chair that. So with that, I will hand it over to Polly.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
Perfect. Wait, let me go. Okay, perfect. So it is an honor to be presenting today, and it was an honor to be part of choosing these candidates. It was an incredibly competitive selection process. And I think from a personal note, being someone studying human rights, it's been incredibly inspiring to see the younger generation taking on the mantle. And I think particularly as noted in current times, I think it's incredibly impactful and important to see a new generation taking on human rights impact. So within that, we would like to give an honorable mention to Emily Peng. The process for selecting was incredibly very competitive, and it was incredible to see. Emily Peng founded and was executive director of Diversity in Us, a youth-led non-profit looking to use education to dismantle stereotypes and empower youth to pursue underrepresented careers. And then on to the winners. So individual winner, massive congratulations to Pranav Raju. Pranav is from Irving, Texas, and a junior at Coppell High School. This is in recognition for his outstanding advocacy for affordable and accessible healthcare, especially on behalf of persons living with type 1 diabetes. He is driven by personal experience, and he's taken action to achieve affordable healthcare for all, which is incredibly important. He worked with NGOs, lawmakers, community members, and researchers to raise awareness, pass policies, and fund more research. As a Children's Congress delegate for Breakthrough T1D, Pranav testified before Congress, shared his personal stories, and lobbied members of Congress for the successful passage of legislation to lower insulin costs. He's also created an advocacy toolkit to help others take action, share their stories, and influence policy. So massive congratulations. Also, our organizational winner is Outside Connection, founded by Sebastian Tan. This is an online platform aiding individuals returning home from incarceration. Sebastian was inspired by personal experience, both at his family bakery and then working voluntary work with people who have recently left incarceration. Only around half of those who leave the prison system find employment. So it's an incredibly important cause to be working towards. Outside Connection was launched in 2022. And is nationwide and connects individuals returning home from incarceration with fair chance jobs. It has assisted over 100 re-entry programs nationwide and opened doors to employment for more than 10,000 re-entrants. I mean, that's incredible. In 2023, Outside Connection was adopted into the National Re-entry Resource Center, US Department of Justice's curriculum for re-entry, allowing it to reach more and more re-entrants across the United States. It also engages in advocacy work and looking into legislation. So massive congratulations to both. Truly inspiring.
Hi, I'm starting, I think. Could you please? Okay, yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Pranav Raju, and I'm an advocate for affordable and accessible healthcare, like Miss Polly already stated. Life shouldn't come with a price tag, but for millions of people, it does. No one should have to choose between paying for life-saving medicine and putting food on the table. Yet in our current healthcare system, this impossible choice is a reality for too many people. Access to healthcare is a basic human right, not a privilege reserved for those who can actually afford it. For people living with type 1 diabetes, the stakes are even higher. This isn't just a healthcare crisis, it's a human rights violation. As a Texan, where we say everything is bigger, I know the challenges families face when the cost of staying alive is overwhelming. But our strength, our advocacy, and our fight to make healthcare affordable for all are just as big. I'm personally type 1 diabetic, so I see firsthand how many people can't afford this healthcare and firsthand how many families are struggling with these issues. According to the T1D index, over 8.7 million people live with this disease. Due to the high costs, one in 4 people have had to ration their insulin, and an estimated 3.9 million years of life have been lost due to lack of access to proper care and insulin. This is not just a health crisis, it's a human rights crisis. And that's why I became an advocate for affordable and accessible healthcare, particularly for those with T1D like me. My work originally began with raising awareness and fundraising. As an ambassador for Breakthrough T1D and a Children's Congress delegate, I've worked with lawmakers on Capitol Hill to push for impactful legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act, which capped insulin prices at $35 a month. We also secured $160 million for research to the Special Diabetes Program. Earlier this year, I had the honor of attending the State of the Union address, where I saw firsthand how policy can drive change. We need to keep educating lawmakers on the financial, physical, and emotional toll T1D takes on millions of people everywhere. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you use to change the world. And that's exactly what we're doing, changing the world one conversation, one policy at a time. Alongside policy change, we need to break the stigma that surrounds T1D, particularly in certain communities like the South Asian families. T1D is often wrongly associated with diet and lifestyle, leading to discrimination and silence. We are entering 2025. It's time we educate rather than discriminate. I'm personally Indian, and I see how many South Asian families have this stigma around type 1 diabetes. When their kids are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, they feel like they are less than other kids. We have to educate them so that they don't feel this way anymore. We've created safe spaces where these families can connect, share, and receive guidance without judgment. By educating them, we can break down these harmful misconceptions. You can switch the slide now, please. I also collaborate with organizations like Beyond Type 1, T1 International, and DPAC to raise awareness and foster community engagement. As we look ahead, I'm completely committed to expanding outreach, hosting more educational events, and working on legislation that reduces healthcare inequities. Everything may be bigger in Texas, but so is our determination to create a fair healthcare system for everybody. I leave you with this one question. What will you do to make healthcare accessible for everyone? Whether it's through advocacy, sharing stories, or contacting representatives, we all have our own role to play. Finally, I want to thank Congressman Mark Vesey and Senator Susan Collins for championing these healthcare policies. Thank you, Tanya and Aaron Kowalski from Breakthrough T1D for believing in my advocacy and helping shape who I am today with your opportunities and training over the past 8 years. Thank you, HRE USA, for this honor. This award is not just for me, but for every advocate fighting to make healthcare accessible and affordable for all. And lastly, I'd like to thank my family and especially my mom who has helped me and supported me through my entire journey. Together, we can create change and make big steps for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranav. I'll pass it to Sebastian next.
Sure. Do we have the slides? Perfect. All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Sebastian, and I'm the founder and CEO of Outside Connection. Next slide, please. Picture this. You've just graduated college and you're looking for a job. Where might you go? You might try a job site like LinkedIn or Indeed, or look for a place you've previously interned before. And these are all pretty standard options. But what would happen if you had a criminal record? Where might you go, or who would hire you? Next slide, please. Well, every single year, there's over $86 billion that's spent on corrections and criminal reentry. And previously incarcerated individuals have it 4 times harder when trying to find a job. Because of this, I started Outside Connection. And here, we're trying to make this process easier. Next slide, please. We're looking to solve 2 main problems. The first one is manual job searching. This is an issue because it's inefficient, time-consuming, and also costly, because many job specialists have to find opportunities for reentrants through word of mouth or personal connections. The second issue is the limited selection of jobs that are available to reentrants. And without an employment institution to help them along the way, finding a job can be almost impossible. Next slide, please. If you look at some of the data, you can see that reentrants only make around half the annual salary as the people in the general population. And if you look at unemployment data, reentrants have it around 10 times worse. Next slide, please. Our solution is called Outside Connection. It's a reentry specialized job platform with second chance positions from over 40 Fortune 500 companies. As you can see in the top left, we allow reentrants to search for certain job criteria from companies that are welcoming to them. Then they can look at positions that they like, see job descriptions and the salary, and apply through our website. Next slide, please. Because of our new innovation, we're reducing hiring time from around 6 months to only around 10 minutes. And with higher level careers from Fortune 500 companies, reentrants have more social mobility. We're also lowering recidivism rates from 52% down to only around 16%. Next slide, please. There's so many benefits throughout this process, also for the companies that are hiring reentrants, such as a $2,400 work opportunity tax credit that a lot of hires like to take advantage of. This also incentivizes businesses to open their doors to reentrants too. Next slide, please. We have some alternatives in the market, but we're the only nonprofit organization at this time that works to provide fair chance job opportunities. Next slide, please. So some of our channels that we operate through, the first is through reentry organizations. And this is how we distribute our service by allowing organizations to use our tool to help reentrants in their local areas find jobs. The second channel is through companies. So we partner with companies that are open to hiring reentrants, and we list their jobs on our website. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. We have an outreach plan by partnering with those reentry organizations where we reach out to them and offer them our services. And then we also work with those private companies too. So it sort of creates like a three-pronged approach. Next slide, please. I've helped build this platform in just over 2 years, and just a team of 2 people. So shout out to Mackenzie, who is our COO, but she's not able to be here. Next slide, please. This funding from HRE USA is going to help us push past our 126 cities and 50 states, and also fund some of our costs that we are looking for expansion. We're looking to expand our jobs from around 2,000 up to over 10,000. So this funding is really going to go a long way. Next slide, please. In closing, as a whole, we're looking to eliminate the slow manual reentry process that's currently in place. We're looking to raise the quality of jobs that reentrants can get, reduce unemployment and increase job access, and also provide more reentrant opportunities. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Pranav and Sebastian. Your work is extraordinary, and we are just so excited that you're out there and doing this. And we're going to follow you and see what's going on in 5 years, 10 years. It's really, truly fantastic. Okay, I'm now going to pass the mic over to Christina Everett, who is going to talk about the UCCHRE Award.
Hi, everyone. Happy Human Rights Day. I'm Christina Eberbach, and I'm a member of the steering committee for HRE USA, as well as the University and College Consortium for Human Rights Education. And each year we award the Human Rights in Higher Education Award to an individual, organization, initiative, or publication for outstanding contributions to human rights education in higher ed, be it in teaching, learning, research, policy, or advocacy. This year we are delighted to present this year's award to someone who is involved in many of those things on that list, Dr. Cher Weixia Chen. Dr. Chen is an associate professor in the School of Integrative Studies at George Mason University, and she's the founder of the Human Rights and Global Justice Initiative, a senior scholar at the Center for the Advancement of Wellbeing, and a faculty fellow with the Institute for a Sustainable Earth. She's been instrumental in creating social justice and human rights academic programs at the undergraduate and graduate levels there. Her teaching and research focuses on the rights of marginalized groups, including women and Indigenous peoples, the well-being of social justice and human rights activists, and international and comparative legal studies. Among her many publications are a co-author book, International Human Rights, a Survey, Interdisciplinary Human Rights in Global Curriculum, and Activism, Burnout, and Community in Higher Education, Narratives of College Student Activists. We will hopefully be organizing a longer webinar in the spring to highlight her work. But in the meantime, I will turn it over to her to say a few words, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Christina, for your kind and thoughtful introduction. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive this Human Rights in Higher Education Award. It is truly rewarding to connect with all of you. You are all my heroes and the broader community of human rights activists, educators, and scholars. And I want to express first my gratitude to Christina and Sandra, the co-chairs of a university and college consortium for human rights education, and also to Misha, a former George Mason University grad student currently working for Project Censor, for nominating me. Misha, it is especially meaningful that this nomination comes from you, and I'm so grateful for your support. I would say this award is less about me and more about the incredible people who have inspired and supported me in my journey. And I have been very fortunate to have an extraordinary mentor during my grad studies, Dr. Alison Rentel, at the University of Southern California. Her passion for human rights profoundly influenced me, and she not only taught me everything I need to know, but also inspired me to embark on this journey. I'm also extremely blessed with an amazing group of colleagues at George Mason University who share my passion and who have worked with me to launch and grow several social justice and human rights programs. But most importantly, I want to thank my students. They give me hope, strength, and purpose. I remember how the enrollment in my undergraduate course, International Human Rights, soared after the 2016 presidential election, attracting students from various disciplines. And their curiosity, their engagement, their commitment to justice and human rights remind me that there's hope. And the future leaders of this country and our planet care deeply about human rights, and that inspires me every day. And I also need to mention that through collaboration with the educators, activists, and scholars from a variety of disciplines across the world, I have come to realize how vast and vibrant our community is, whether it's a professor in an engineering department advocating for human rights, or a scholar in Africa developing programs dedicated to the protection of a woman's rights. We are part of a powerful network, and we are not alone. I think together we can do better, and we will do better. During these uncertain times, I'm incredibly grateful for this community. You inspire me to keep going, to keep teaching, and to continue advancing human rights education and research. Together, I hope we can make the world just a little bit better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cher, for your presentation and all of your wonderful work in the field. Truly incredible. And also thank you, Christina, for the lovely introduction. So next we're going to transition into some human rights updates and more about how you can get involved with everything as well. So first I'll start with our podcast. So the HRE USA podcast features the stories of human rights educators from across the globe. You can go to the next slide. And we're super excited to share that we now have over 2,000 downloads from 6 different continents, which is really exciting. If you'd like to listen or learn more about our project, Alana is going to share the link to the podcast in the chat. And next, I'll hand it over to Kara, who's been an amazing leader as a 2023 Edmonds Fellow and a 2024 Edmonds Supervisor. Thank you for all of your ongoing work, also as a research scholar and a TAS coordinator this fall, which she'll share more about.
Thank you, Liz. It's been my honor to work on a couple projects with HRE USA this past summer and fall, including our Training as Action series, as well as a roundtable on mis and disinformation during an election year. I also want to thank Emma Tolliver and Carly Sandcroft, who were Edmonds Fellows this past summer, who also were working on the Training as Action series, and Ara Egbali, who is another Edmonds Fellow, who helped with the mis and disinformation toolkit. I also want to give a shout out to Jarwin Lee, who was an intern this fall, who helped with these projects a lot as well. So this fall we had a roundtable to look at voting rights and mis and disinformation and kind of where those came together. So if you go to our website on the collections, you can find that roundtable as well as a list of resources on how to find accurate information and exercise your right to vote. And then next slide, please. And then we have our annual Training as Action series. So this past fall, we've had over 40 participants who have engaged to try and learn more about human rights and educating youth and empowerment. And we're so grateful for all of our co-sponsors. We've had 20 co-sponsors who have been amazing, as well as facilitators and everyone who's attended and supported the program. We are having the second half of our series will be launching in February. So you can see that flyer there. February 10th, we will be picking back up with a session on digital citizenship and human rights in the age of disinformation. All of these sessions are free, so highly encourage you to check them out and register. If you miss any sessions, all past sessions are on our website on the Training as Action series webpage, and you can find past slide shows as well as recordings. Thank you.
So hi, everyone. I'm Jake Skripik. I'm a steering committee member at HRE USA. We just wanted to call attention to two events that have happened in recent weeks. The first one was a World Children's Day celebration hosted at Salem State University by Yvonne Vissing. A wonderful, wonderful get-together and collaborative, really dedicated to the anniversary of the Children's Rights Convention that we just passed in late November. We had a number of HRE USA members attend and really be in collaboration, thinking strategically on the day for the future of children's rights in our country and our world. And then the second event in late November as well was our annual National Council for the Social Studies event. We had a very strong human rights ed presence at the conference, both in terms of sessions and presentations, but HRE USA also hosted a lovely table interacting with participants. If you see here, we had a lovely happy hour get together with a number of people afterwards, and really a robust offering of a strong human rights ed presence at the conference. And we're going to continue to kind of really amplify human rights ed through the social studies. So we just wanted to highlight two key events that have happened in recent weeks that we're very, very proud of. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you all. My name is Hallie, and I am a former Edmonds Fellow from 2022 and a member of the steering committee. So with the year fastly coming to a close, I'm going to talk for just a minute about our end of year campaign, which is Empower Youth, Secure the Future. So as we've seen in our lovely program today, and as we know, youth advocacy is the present and future of human rights advocacy. And that is something that we are hoping to highlight as strongly as possible, especially coming in 2025, where we've all discussed that there are fears and challenges that we are anticipating. We want to empower our youth to be the strongest advocates they can be, including our youth like Pranav and Sebastian, our youth award winners. So congratulations to you both and all of the award winners. But HRE USA focuses a lot of programming on youth advocacy, and especially come 2025, we want to focus on programming for more education, more advocacy and activism, more empowerment, and more collaboration, so we can meet in settings like this and have more programming where we can all gather and celebrate and plan for the future. So far we have raised $1,310 from 12 donors for this campaign. And we thank all of you who have donated so far. We are extremely grateful. And we are also very happy to say that a generous donor has pledged a $5,000 match for our fundraiser, which is making these next few weeks even more important and crucial that we raise as many funds as possible to continue this work come 2025. But donations of all sizes are deeply welcomed and appreciated, and we are hoping to hit 25 donors by the start of 2025. So just need 13 more people to hit that goal. And whether it is $1, $5, $35 to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Convention on the Rights of the Child this year, or $76 for the 76th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, every single donation amount counts and is so deeply appreciated and will continue to fund our crucial work come 2025. And for those who donate today in honor of Human Rights Day, and so we can continue celebrating, we will even send you your very own pocket copy of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to keep with you at all times. So be sure to get those donations in today if you are able. And again, every dollar counts and matters and is so deeply appreciated. And thank you all for supporting Human Rights Educators USA and human rights at large in your local communities, in our greater community. It is really so appreciated. And the link should be in the chat for our fundraiser to find out a little bit more. But we thank you all so much for supporting our work.
Thank you so much, Hallie. Wow, I know there's so much information that just came to us in the last 53 minutes, and I thank you so much. We thank you so much for being with us. And I'm really excited that we have an extra few minutes because we have a video we want to share with you that we created 3 years ago, where young people around the world shared articles from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights for us in their own languages and in sign language. And it's pretty incredible. And I know I saw it the other day and I haven't seen it in a few years. And it really, really reminded me just of our community and of human rights educators around the world and the young people that are taking the lead now, and that ripple effect. So if you have time, Jake is going to play the video, hang out and watch it. And if you don't have time now, I just put it in the chat. And thank you all for joining us. And I guess, Christy, do you have any words before we go to the video?
Let's keep on keeping on and stay connected. We really are just so proud and amazed by the incredible work that you all have done. I think you're great inspirations. So thanks. Let's all listen to, I guess, these wonderful students who are going to be reading the Universal Declaration. Happy Human Rights Day.
On December 10th, 1948, the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted and proclaimed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the UDHR. This declaration guarantees the rights of all people. December 10th is recognized as Human Rights Day worldwide.
The General Assembly proclaims this Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations, and shall strive by teaching and education to promote respect for these rights and freedoms.
Todos los seres humanos nacen iguales en dignidad y derechos.
المادة الخامسة: لا يجوز إخضاع أحد للتعذيب والمعاملة الحيطة بالكرامة.
Todo ser humano tiene derecho en todas partes al reconocimiento de su personalidad jurídica.
모든 사람은 법 앞에 평등하며 어떠한 차별도 없이 법의 동등한 보호를 받을 권리를 가진다. 모든 사람은 이 선언에 위반되는 어떠한 차별과 그러한 차별의 선동으로부터 동등한 보호를 받을 권리를 가진다.
Artículo 8. Toda persona tiene derecho a un recurso efectivo ante los tribunales nacionales competentes que la ampare contra actos que violen sus derechos fundamentales reconocidos por la Constitución o por la ley.
Ningú pot ser arrestat, detingut ni exiliat arbitràriament.
Article 10. Everyone is entitled to a fair and public hearing by an independent tribunal.
Artículo 11. Toda persona acusada de delito tiene derecho a que se presuma su inocencia mientras no se pruebe su culpabilidad, conforme a la ley y en el juicio público en el que se le hayan asegurado todas las garantías necesarias para su defensa.
Article 12. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence.
Article 13. Everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state.
Ogni individuo ha il diritto di cercare e di godere in altri paesi asilo dalle persecuzioni.
Article 15. Everyone has the right to a nationality. No one shall be deprived nor denied the right to change his nationality.
Article 16. Men and women of full age, without any limitation, have the right to marry and to have a family.
Her şahıs tek başına veya başkalarıyla birlikte mal ve mülk sahibi olmak hakkına haizdir.
Każdy człowiek ma prawo wolności myśli, sumienia i wyznania.
Prawo to obejmuje swobodę zmiany wyznania lub wiary oraz swobodę głoszenia swego wyznania lub wiary bądź indywidualnie i razem z innymi ludźmi publicznie i prywatnie poprzez nauczanie, praktykowanie, uprawianie kultu i postrzeżenie obyczajów.
Artículo 19. Todos tienen el derecho a la libertad de expresión y opinión sin intromisión.
제20조. 모든 사람은 평화적인 집회 및 결사의 자유에 대한 권리를 가진다.
Toute personne a droit à la liberté de réunion et d'association. Nul ne peut être obligé de faire partie d'une association.
Article 21. Everyone has the right to take part in freely elected government. Everyone should get a vote and all votes should be equal. Article 22. Everyone has the right to Social Security, indispensable for his dignity and the free development of his personality.
Article 23. You have the right to work and to get a salary that allows you to live and support your family.
Article 24. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay.
Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the well-being of himself and his family.
Artículo 26. Todos tienen el derecho a la educación. La educación se orientará al pleno desarrollo de la identidad humana y a la consolidación del respeto de los derechos humanos.
Education will help me build my own personality.
We belong in the same classroom as everybody else, not segregated from everyone.
If we need help, we get help.
Just because we have a disability doesn't mean we can't reach our full potential.
Artículo 27. Toda persona tiene el derecho a tomar parte libremente en la vida cultural de la comunidad.
Article 28. Everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration can be fully realized.
Article 29. Everyone has duties towards a community within which his personality can fully develop. The law should guarantee human rights.
Article 30. No society and no human being in any part of the world should act in such a way as to destroy the rights that we have just shared.
Happy Human Rights Day, all. Thank you, Alana and Liz, for a great job moderating, and Jake for your wonderful tech support, and all of the presenters.
Thank you everyone for joining today. We have a very happy Human Rights Day.
There is a celebration of Human Rights Day going on in a park here in Albuquerque that I'm off to right now.
Great, enjoy.
A park is the right place.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.